Hello everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I wanted to come on here quickly to give you an awesome little demo about rider position and also to remind you that my rider position blueprint is starting tomorrow. So if you haven't signed up yet for the course, the link should be either above or below somewhere around this video. But my brand new program, Rider Position Blueprint, which I'm so excited about. I've been working on this course for like months, I think, and it's just awesome. It's such a great program. I have two screens set up, so if I'm like looking around, that is why. But here's the thing. Rider position, it's the number one thing that's holding you back in your riding. So rider position is actually causing a lot of the quote unquote training issues that you're having with your horse. And rider position is also so essential for your confidence. When you're in the correct position, when you're balanced, then you're confident and you're able to try new things and go to horse shows or whatever that is that you're striving towards. So if you're here live, let me know in the chat, what is one goal that you have for you and for your horse? What is one thing that you're really looking forward to in the year ahead? And I did several rider position webinars throughout the week. And one of the big themes in the webinar that I talked about was how your hands are not the problem or the solution. And as humans, we do everything with our hands, right? We're like typing with our hands, we're driving with our hands, we're eating with our hands, we're cooking, like everything you do is with your hands. But when we ride our horses, your hands are the last thing you want to think about. Your hands are like the least important part of your rider position. And your hands should not be used to stay balanced or connected in the saddle. And I don't know about you, but I think that's something that we all sometimes do, which is that we go to our hands in order to stay on or to balance. And that's not a good thing. So, what is the most important part of your rider position? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you that the most important part of your rider position is your seat. Have you ever heard anyone tell you that you need to ride with an independent seat? And why is that so important? Well, the reason that's so important is because your horse's back is moving. Like horses are moving objects, right? And so their back is going up and down and it's swinging from back to front and it's going a little bit left and right. And we don't want to bounce on our horse's back. Bouncing is uncomfortable and painful for our horses. So that is why figuring out how to connect your seat and how to really stay connected is so important. And it's also important because none of us want to fall off. None of us want to get hurt. So hello, Tanya. Hello, Barbara. Let me know. Give me a big hello if you're watching here live. So what I have for today's demo, I'm sorry, I have two screens set up. So I have a pelvis, right? And you all have a pelvis. These are your seat bones here in the front. And when you're riding, you really want to think about that these seat bones are staying pointing down like this, right? You don't want to be tipped too far back in a chair seat or your seat bones are going to point forward, and you don't want to be too much perched forward like this or you're going to be balancing too much on your pubic bone and your seat bones are going to point backwards. So you want your seat bones to be pointing down into the saddle. And then if you can imagine a triangle between your two seat bones, your left and right seat bone and your pubic bone. And so that triangle should stay connected to your horse's movement. And that triangle needs to move in 3 dimensions. So whether your horse's back is going more up and down or it's swinging from back to front, that triangle, we really want to stay in contact with the saddle. And so then you say, okay, well, that's great. Like I'm trying, but I still feel like, oh my gosh, I'm bouncing. I don't know about you, but when I hear myself like my butt slap in the saddle and then you feel your horse like put their head up and stiffen and hollow and you're always like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. So how do we prevent ourselves from bouncing? And this is hard, right? Because I think that when you see a really good rider, it looks like they're sitting still, but they're not. So in order to stay connected, you actually have to move a lot. It's just that you need to move with your horse. You need to move the right amount. So this little pelvis, I want to talk, if it would be okay, I want to talk quickly about some key muscles that keep your pelvis in the saddle. And this is something that when I was learning to ride, I didn't really understand. Like, what are your riding muscles? What muscles should you actually use to stay in the saddle? So when we look at our pelvis here, we have right here on the side of your pelvis is kind of a fan-shaped muscle that goes like this. And this is your glute med muscle. So your glute med muscle it helps to stabilize your pelvis so in your upper body so that you don't go from side to side. And your glute med muscle, it also goes down into your leg. So it helps you to put your leg on your horse, and it also helps you to take your leg off of your horse. So this is a super important muscle for your seat. And then what's super interesting is that your glute med muscle connects through fascia to your obliques and your transverse abdominals up here. So your glute med actually connects into the abdominal muscles that you want to use when you're riding, which when I first saw someone explain this, I was like, oh my gosh, I get it now. But it's actually really important to understand this so that when your trainer tells you can use your core, I think we all tend to contract our rectus abdominals, like contract the front of our core. And that's not really what you want to do, right? You really want to think about these stabilizing muscles on the side of you. So that way that your hips can stay connected and actually still be moving with your horse. And that's where rider position is so cool. And it's so fascinating because when you see these little changes in your position, your horse will instantly improve and your horse will instantly change, which is the cool part of it. So I wanted to quickly go through, remember, rider position blueprint is starting tomorrow. We have an orientation call at noon, and 10 reasons to join now. First reason is that this is the lowest price the course will ever be. So because it's like the grand opening launch, course is basically half off. So even if now is not a good time, I definitely recommend joining today. Second thing, your rider position is the foundation of everything. So whether you dream of like cantering in the field, going for a trail ride, going to a show, riding in a clinic, sitting the trot, getting your horse rounder, getting your horse more forward, it all goes back to your rider position. The better you ride, the better your horse will go. I told this story earlier this week. I had this super difficult horse. He was like stiff and crooked and didn't want to use his back. Stefan got on and rode him, and he like instantly made him so much better. So it's like you've got to improve your rider position. Second thing, so we've already had hundreds of students join the program, which is so exciting. Let me know in the chat if you have joined, because we had one of our students, Susie, and she made a post in the Facebook group, and she was like, oh my gosh, I finally felt my seat connected in the saddle. And it was such an amazing feeling, which is so cool. Number 4 is confidence. This is a big one. You will feel so much more confident and balanced in the saddle when you work on improving your rider position. And that's so important because your horse needs to feel you confident. Your horse needs to feel that you're the leader and that you're in charge. And with the correct rider position, you can give your horse that confidence. Number 5, there's never a perfect time, right? And you can always go down that like excuses of, oh, I'm not riding right now. The weather's not perfect, blah, blah, blah. But they're like, go for it, right? There's always a time. Just start now. Start working on your position. Start working on your fitness. That's one thing that's really cool about rider position blueprint is that it has fitness exercises too. So even if you're not riding at the moment, you can start working on strengthening those muscles that keep your seat connected in the saddle. Number 6, whisper to your horse. So what's super cool is that when you improve your position, when you find that independent seat, you're going to be able to whisper to your horse and to communicate with these small invisible aids. Like if you think about the top riders, their hands are together and in front, their heels are down, and their horse is just really listening to their seat and these subtle little cues. Like we don't want to be kicking and pulling. We really want to work towards that harmony and that balance and that connection. And the only way to get there is to fix your rider position. Number 7, get fit and feel better. This is a big one, but for me, when I exercise regularly, when I go to the gym, not only do I feel so much better in the saddle because I'm confident and I'm strong and I'm in control of my body, but just overall, your health, you will feel better when you exercise and when you work out. Um, Let me in the chat know in the chat which of you, who what workout you do to stay fit. But rider position blueprint, it has specific exercises for riders, which is super cool. Number 8, lessons from home. So how many of you don't have a trainer or wish you had a trainer, but you live in the middle of nowhere? It's hard to get lessons. Rider Position Blueprint has one-on-one coaching. So basically you send in videos, my coach will watch your video and give you that individual feedback, which is so helpful because we're all different and sometimes you don't know what to start and where to work on first. Number 9, friends, community, excitement. Meet other people. You know, we have a Facebook group and you're going to get to meet and connect with other people who are also working on the same things, who are working on their rider position. And by joining a course like this, you have, there's live calls, there's guest lectures, there's lots of things on your calendar that keep you accountable and keep you motivated. And number 10, happy horse, right? When you improve your rider position, your horse is going to be so much happier. You're going to be a better passenger for your horse. And I think for me, that's a big motivation is like, I don't want to be in my horse's way. I want to make my horse's job easier. I want my horse to enjoy riding. And I know for you too, the more independent your seat is, the more you can follow that motion, the more you can give your horse clear and effective aids, the happier your horse will be. So the course starts tomorrow. You have until Monday to sign up, but I definitely recommend sign up today. Basically, it's 50% off. It's a crazy good deal. And we've already had a lot of students signing up and going through the curriculum and hearing their feedback. So I know it's going to be like an epic course. It comes with 5 months of live support. So that means we're going to be helping you all the way through the end of July, which is pretty crazy. And I hope to see you inside. So I'm going to head to the barn. I hope you all have a beautiful day. I hope that you get to ride your horse and spend a little extra time at the barn.